we shall never know peace. At least when it comes to the WNBA space. It was this ad that Angel put out. And I don't know if this is part of a larger campaign where it's going to be similar themes in similar places. But because of where the WNBA All-Star Game is, and because of who plays on the Indiana Fever in the home city of the WNBA All-Star Game, it's going to raise some eyebrows.
Angel Reese strutted into the spotlight like she was stepping onto a stage built just for her, only to discover the lights had dimmed, the audience had left early, and the stagehands had already packed up. The real twist is she actually thought she could replicate Caitlin Clark's magic. Not with skills, not with authentic appeal, but simply by hovering close enough to soak in the reflection, as if standing next to greatness was the same thing as earning it. Comment down below, baby goat over baby giraffe. If you're riding with CC, let's go.
Angel, me bound, pray up, Reese. You only relevant because you keep bringing up my precious CC. You want to pull up with your Billboard Reebok ad in Indiana talking about you in her trap. Man, stop it. You out of there. You hear me? My precious CC don't be in no trap. Real talk. You hear me? At the end of the day, she don't do those type of things. Yes. You hear me? Don't put that with her name at the end of the day. If you be in a trap, that's your business. You hear me? Whatever the case may be, that ain't nothing to be proud of.
The 2025 WNBA All-Star Weekend was supposed to be Angel Reese's big coming out party. This was her moment to shine, to finally step out of Caitlin Clark's shadow. Or at least that's what she told herself. She was set to drop her Reebok signature shoe, roll out her I'm in Your City marketing campaign, and turn Indianapolis, Clark's home turf, into her personal playground. On paper, it looked like the perfect plan. But reality served up a harsh lesson. You can't fake charisma, and you definitely can't build your brand by orbiting someone else's.
Here, everyone with credit card debt is lining up to get the Angel Reese signature shoe. Here, it gives you the power of the me-bound. Bang! Again! Burn! Will she save it? No! What everyone's paid to see, the Angel Reese rebound! Bang! Kelsey Plum makes the shot, she'll get more money. Bang! We show up and show out for our rebounding queen. Yes! Bang! I love rebounds. Yes!
Hey, Jimmy, did you see that last rebound? It was so sick.
Yes, she did it again! Rebound!
So, let's address the sneaker in the room. Angel Reese's new Reebok release, dubbed the Angel Reese One. It launched in 2 colorways, Diamond Dust and Me Bounds, and was hyped as the future of women's basketball footwear. Reebok invested big, flooding the All-Star festivities with ads and aligning the Me Bounds release for peak exposure. Unfortunately for them, exposure doesn't always equal excitement, especially when your timing backfires spectacularly.
Literally, debut. It's got to be when she plays Caitlin Clark. So they obviously ended up debuting at All-Star Weekend because Caitlin didn't play when they were in Chicago, and Caitlin didn't play. Or Caitlin's not playing in this game, so they're debuting at All-Star Weekend. The plan was to literally go and use Caitlin Clark for the launch of it.
The heart of Reese's strategy rested on one crucial and very flawed assumption, that Caitlin Clark's All-Star appearance would guarantee massive eyeballs, which would then turn into big sales. She didn't try to captivate fans on her own merit. She bet the house on the idea that just sharing the court, just existing in Clark's orbit, would elevate her. It wasn't about outshining Clark or even competing. It was about riding the coattails of someone who already commands the room.
It's one of those things where it's like it's very clear that one side is absolutely trying to milk whatever rivalry there is. Whatever rivalry there is, it is one side trying to do everything they can to keep it together, because that is where they're going to be at their most relevant.
But fate had other plans. Clark suffered a groin injury just before the All-Star break and was sidelined, forced to watch from the bench in street clothes. And with her absence, the WNBA lost the one thing it couldn't afford to lose, its top draw. Caitlin Clark is the type of player who can turn a midweek game in the middle of nowhere into a national event. Without her on the floor, the excitement evaporated.
But there is the part of me that's like, is this really necessary? And shouldn't Angel Reese be able to market herself at this point without invoking or even, insinuating some sort of attachment to Caitlin Clark? Because if I'm being honest about it, people say that moment, and that moment was huge. It will live forever. That moment will live forever. But Caitlin Clark was on this trajectory already. And if anyone has benefited more from the attachment, at least from an attention standpoint.
And the numbers are brutal. When Clark played in the 2024 All-Star Game, it smashed records with 3.44 million viewers. It wasn't just a game. It was a cultural moment. Fast forward to 2025 with Clark sitting out and ratings nosedive to 2.19 million. That's a staggering 36% drop in viewership. And it happened in Indianapolis, Clark's backyard. An event tailor-made to capitalize on her presence completely unraveled the moment she couldn't play.
So the WNBA's All-Star Game went down 36%. That is a lot. That's more than a third from last year. Last year was over 3.4 million people, and it went down to 2.1. Now, you could say is a success. Yeah, for women's sport, that is still a lot of people. But at the same time, it really isn't a success, because think about it. It's the only sport playing. It's the only game that's going. And you only could draw that. So, and this is with all the stars. Remember, guys.
Reese had to watch her entire campaign unravel before her eyes. Nearly half their value is gone. Not even scalpers could salvage it. Fans weren't lining up to see an all-star event without the only star they truly cared about.
But the WNBA All-Star Game ratings have come out, and all I could think of right off the bat was 4 little letters. F-A-F-O. F around and find out. You bleep around and find out what this league looks like without Caitlin Clark being involved in your biggest events. Kathy Engelbert, this should be a perfect example of why you need to get your officiating cleaned up, and you need to have a talk with your players in the league.
And nothing summed up the misstep of it all quite like Reese's tone-deaf "I'm in your city" campaign. The premise was bold, borderline arrogant. She rolled out the campaign across Indianapolis as if declaring territorial conquest in someone else's kingdom. But here's the catch. Clark wasn't even suiting up. She couldn't defend her city because she was injured. That didn't make Reese look bold. It made her look like someone trying to hijack a crown while the real queen was temporarily off the throne.
Angel Reese All-Star Weekend Edition! How about it? Let's get it! Hey, you know what they say? 4 is more. Bang! Her loyal fans showed out in Indy, all 4 of them, and somebody's drunk uncle. Take a look at what unemployment looks like. Bang! What do you mean you didn't watch the All-Star Game? You're telling me you have a social life? What?
What's butter pecan mean? It's provocative. It gets people going.
Butter pecan! Bang!
The campaign was everywhere. Billboards, digital ads, slick videos, and flashy captions screaming dominance. Ree even posted Instagram reels with a caption, "I'm in your city," and used phrases like, "walk in your trap," "take over your trap." It was a full-on takeover attempt, just without any actual resistance to overcome.
You can barely dribble. You miss layups on purpose, and they record them as rebounds. You be stat padding. You don't elevate your players. You went to a stacked LSU team. You hear me? My precious CC owns you. You want to know the record? She is 5-2 against you. You beat her in college one time. That championship. But what happened to the year after that? She sent you home. You hear me? And waved to your coach. You hear me? At the end of the day.
And fans weren't fooled, not even a little. Social media lit up with criticism. One person tweeted, "She can't even sell her shoe without piggybacking off Caitlin Clark." Another joked, "More photographers than fans at this launch, LOL." The whole thing came off like someone celebrating a forfeit, as if it were a fair fight. Trying to claim a victory over someone who wasn't even competing doesn't make you a winner. It just makes you look desperate.
WNBA All-Star Weekend is supposed to be the star of all stars. All the big dogs is out. Asia Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, everybody's out. The big dogs are out. You got the rookie, you got Angel Reese, Miss Me Too. All of the stars are here. And look at this news. The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48% from $121 to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing.
Let's take a step back and really lay this out. Angel Reese had everything teed up for success during All-Star Weekend. She was in Indianapolis, the supposed queen of the moment. Her very own Reebok signature shoe was launching. The city was blanketed with her billboards. Her social media team was firing on all cylinders. And the marketing machine was working overtime. And yet, crickets, no buzz, no real excitement.
Fans sent a blatant message. A shot across thou bow. All right? And your ship, well, without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA and all their pay us what you owe us action, that action will sink. That action will sink. Woo! WNBA All-Star Game sees ratings drop without Caitlin Clark, and it's ugly. It's real ugly. Who is this?
The WNBA even tried to spin the aftermath with a slick PR move, comparing the 2025 All-Star viewership to the 2023 number of 850,000 as a win, while conveniently skipping over the elephant-sized number from 2024. When Caitlin Clark was the star of the show, but everyone saw through that smokescreen. What they were really saying was without Clark, they were back to being niche, back to pre-relevance levels of interest. And if you needed further proof, look at the Friday night events. The three-point contest and the skills challenge pulled in 1.32 million viewers, nearly double the prior year. But let's be real, those weren't Angel Reese fans tuning in. That was still the Caitlin Clark aftershock. People tuned in hoping to catch a glimpse of the player who changed everything.
There's no comparison between y'all two. You hear me? And she has a $28 million Nike deal. Nike is better than Reebok last time I checked. And Angel Me Bound Pray Up Reese, last time I checked, you said Indianapolis was racist and they was dangerous. Why did you show up? Because you could have just watched from the crib. You hear me? So let me tell you this. Please stop associating my precious Cece with the trap. She don't know what a trap is. At the end of the day, she might know what a rat trap or mouse trap is, okay? But anything else other than that, please do not. No, we not gonna do that.
The real problem for Angel Reese wasn't just bad timing. It was a failure to understand how star power actually works. She looked at what Caitlin Clark had. Sold-out shoes, a blockbuster Nike deal, endless headlines, and I thought, I can do that, too. She saw Clark's Nike Kobe 5 Pro drop sell out in under 60 seconds with resale prices flying past $600 for a shoe that retailed at $190 and assumed she could replicate that demand. But here's what she didn't grasp. Caitlin Clark's brand isn't about logos and gimmicks. It's about earned loyalty. Her fans don't show up because of ad campaigns. They show up because they believe in her. Clark built that trust with years of elite play, authentic interviews, clutch moments, and pure passion for the game. So when Nike handed her that 8-year, $28 million contract, it wasn't just a paycheck. It was an investment in a once-in-a-generation figure. Experts believe her eventual signature shoe coming in 2026 could generate over $100 to $150 million in revenue. And that projection isn't based on wishful thinking. It's grounded in real data, packed arenas, top-tier ratings, and a player-to-fan connection that's stronger than ever. Now, compare that with Reese's Reebok release during All-Star Weekend. The reception was muted at best. Her Angel Reese one dropped with all the flair Reebok could muster, but the excitement just wasn't there. The public barely blinked, and the rollout didn't feel bold.
So one of his genius decisions was this. signing her, Angel Reese. If you don't know who she is, she's the queen of like fish out of water going after a rebound that she shot herself and can get in the net ever. She reminds me of a 3-year-old shooting on those little kids' nets and throwing the ball and just completely missing the mark and like scampering back to get the ball and then shooting again real fast and it just doesn't come anywhere near the hoop. That is, if you haven't seen her play, that's what it is. Put that image here, that is her.
Even Reebok's own executives seem to understand the issue. In the Netflix docuseries Power Moves, featuring Shaquille O'Neal, there was an awkwardly revealing moment. Shaq was caught saying Reese needed to be dressed head to toe in Reebok gear, specifically when facing off against Caitlin Clark. Translation: her brand only pops when Clark is in the frame. That's a brutal truth. Instead of promoting Ree as a standalone star, Reebok was openly strategizing about how to make her relevant by aligning her with the very person she's constantly compared to. It's the kind of behind-the-scenes commentary that completely undermines the illusion of independence. It wasn't about lifting Angel Ree. It was about piggybacking off Caitlin Clark. By the time Sunday night rolled around and the All-Star festivities were over, Ree dropped a not-so-subtle message on social media. This was the most fun I've had in a while, because of the players. Shout out to y'all. Back to the regularly scheduled program. The use of players in all caps seemed like a thinly veiled jab at the fans in Indianapolis, who ironically had been pretty gracious toward her the entire weekend. It was an odd message to send after a weekend that had clearly not gone the way she envisioned.
Man, look, I don't know what the Reese was thinking. She wanted her shoe that just came out a couple months ago that cost $1,000. Now look, I'm all for athletes getting their shoe, getting the shoe deal, having their design, specified, perfect shoe that significant to them and to other fans. But $1,000 for a shoe, love, I love you. I really do. But you definitely been on some shit. Like lately. I'm not going to lie to you. You have. But $1,000, no.
But by then, the damage was undeniable. Rhea had tried to turn All-Star Weekend into her own commercial, banking on massive TV ratings and Clark-fueled hype to give her shoe launch some juice. But instead of fireworks, she got a cold dose of reality. Viewership dropped, enthusiasm dipped, and her aggressive, "I'm in your city" messaging came off more like a campaign of desperation than a confident power move. What we witnessed wasn't just a marketing flop. It was a full-blown exposure of how poorly some people understand what true influence looks like. Caitlin Clark doesn't attract fans because she's marketed well. She gets marketed well because she attracts fans. The cause and effect chain works in reverse compared to how Reese seems to imagine it. When Clark sells out an arena, it's not because there's a billboard telling people she's playing. It's because fans are already lining up for her. When her shoes disappear in minutes, it's not because of a clever promo. It's because her audience feels personally invested in her journey. Reese's all-star strategy proved she missed this entirely. She assumed she could create Clark-level demand with a few flashy ad buys, a catchy slogan, and some bold moves in Clark's hometown. But star power doesn't work like that. It isn't a costume you can put on. It's built over time, forged in moments of greatness, and cemented by consistency and humility. Reese wanted the results without building the foundation, and it showed. Her campaign didn't just fizzle. It revealed the gulf between someone trying to be a star and someone who already is.
She is so bad that when Caitlin Clark and her were supposed to face off against each other the other week, the ticket sales went down from $100 to like $5 because Caitlin Clark got injured. She had a quad injury, so she wasn't playing. So guess what? No one wanted to go watch. And if you don't know Caitlin Clark, she's pretty much the GOAT of the WNBA and is the reason why people are watching. No one watches you, Angel Reese. No one watches you. The only thing that I enjoy watching is all the clips on TikTok of you just countlessly just missing every shot that you take.
The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game won't be remembered for Angel Reese's footwear or her billboards. It'll be remembered for what happens when a league loses its marquee player, even temporarily. The 36% ratings drop, the ticket price nosedive, and the collective shrug from fans all pointed to one thing. Clark isn't just one of many stars. She's the star. And when she's not on the court, the product suffers. Period. Angel Reese learned a hard but valuable lesson. Trying to sell yourself by attaching your brand to Caitlin Clark's shine isn't just ineffective, it's obvious. Fans aren't dumb. They know when someone's the real deal and when someone's faking it. And right now, authenticity is everything. The numbers don't lie. The broadcast viewership doesn't lie. The demand at the box office doesn't lie. And this weekend made it crystal clear. The excitement, the momentum, the future of the WNBA, it all rides with Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese may be many things, but Caitlin Clark, she's not. And if this All-Star weekend taught us anything, it's that trying to pretend otherwise only leads to failure. You don't win hearts by trying to replace someone fans actually care about. And you definitely don't take over a city that was never yours to begin with. Comment down below, baby goat over baby giraffe. If you're riding with CC, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.